What's up, everybody? Y'all come on in. Got a big one for y'all today. Y'all come on in. What's up, Marie? Y'all come on in. Alright. We'll get in one more minute and we'll get started. What's up, love? Y'all come on in. All right. Let us begin. Let us begin. What's up, Jamisha? Now today we gonna discharge some Gnostic truths. Yep. We gonna go over a lot of things that's been hidden, things that we should know but we've forgotten about, and things that we are going to figure out to redeem ourselves and resurrect ourselves. So let's begin. Well, let's start with the basics, What is Gnosticism? Gnosticism is an esoteric system of self-knowledge, gnosis, that the Coptic Egyptians created probably around 100 AD, a few years after, about 50 years, 60 years after the death of Cleopatra. That's when those they was originally Greek Egyptians, but they would go on and take the name Coptic Egyptians later on down the timeline. So, and they all got together at this time period to do a thing with this Gnosticism. You see what I'm saying? With this Gnosticism. So this is where it came from. Gnosticism was the last remnants of the ancient Egyptian mystery system that moved to Europe. If y'all want to know where it came from, you see what I'm saying? It was the last remnants of it, and they redesigned it and refashioned it and revamped it into something new, which we know now to be Gnosticism. You see what I'm saying? Now, what was the purpose of it? The whole purpose of Gnosticism, here to tell y'all, the whole purpose of it was for rebirth, regeneration, rejuvenation, redemption, and resurrection of thine own soul, of the soul. See what I'm saying? That's what it was about. That's what it was about. You see what I'm saying? That's the whole purpose of fucking Gnosticism. The resurrection and redemption of the soul, the healing of the soul, especially after we talking about what happened in ancient Egypt. We talking about the fall of a fucking 600,000 to 1 million year dynasty if you count the ancient Nubian timeline. You see what I'm saying? You only count the ancient Egyptian timeline, that's only about 300,000 years. But if you count the ancient Nubian timeline, we're looking at 1 million to 3 million years. You see what I'm saying? Of this empire falling. You see what I'm saying? So they had to leave some sort of distortion in the bloodline. You see what I'm saying? They had to leave some type of distortion, some type of trauma in the mass bloodline of what we know as these Coptic Egyptians in Europe, right? Now, with that being said, what was it all about? You see what I'm saying? We get this story. You know, you get the concept of what you call what the Gnostics called the pre-existing one, or Pormandres, as y'all heard me call, or Hunab-Ku. What's up, Sky? What's up, Brandon? Or Pormandres, or Hunab-Ku, as y'all heard me call him, or talk about him, right? So, since y'all heard me talk about him, y'all know that this being, the pre-existing one, is also known as the unmanifested one. But what is this being known as the pre-existing one? Well, I can only describe you. The answer to that is, I can only describe to you what it is, because no one truly knows what it is, because it's hard to know something that's unmanifested. You see what I'm saying? But I can describe to you what it is, and what it is pure self-consciousness and self-being. You see what I'm saying? Pure, supreme, pre-existent self-consciousness and self-being. That's what the pre-existing one really is. You see what I'm saying? The unmanifested, self-conscious, self-aware, self-being, self-personality, if it has a personality, that guides the all from its place of awareness, from its state of supreme meditation. You see what I'm saying? From its state of supreme meditation. So that's how this works. That's who the pre-existing one is. Is it a woman or a man? It's neither in both. That's the answer. It is androgynous, but at the same time, it's beyond androgyny. It's beyond holism. It's a whole other concept, because it's unmanifested. So you can look at it as, when we say pre-existence, it's pre-everything. You see what I'm saying? It's pre-everything when you look at it. You see what I'm saying? We're dealing with this pre-existing one, Pormandres. You see what I'm saying? Hunab-Ku, the invisible deity behind the deities. You see what I'm saying? It's pre-all, pre-creators, all that. So it's known as the pre-creator. You see what I'm saying? Not the prime creator. The prime creator is a woman, but the pre-creator is androgynous. You see what I'm saying? Now, when it manifests its first thought, its first ideal, its first state of mind, you see what I'm saying? When it folded in on itself and began to become aware of itself, the first idea it thought of was the woman. You see what I'm saying? Source melanin. Her name is Protonoia. See what I'm saying? Protonoia. So this is what you got going on. What's up, Star? What's up, Brandon? So this is what you got going on with Protonoia. You see what I'm saying? Protonoia is actually the original source dark jazzy intelligence that fuels and created what you know as the all, the pleroma. You see what I'm saying? She created the all or the pleroma. She's androgynous, but she's more of a feminine. She's a feminine archetype. You see what I'm saying? And she even precedes Sophia. She's Sophia's mother. You see what I'm saying? So she's the soul's mother. You see what I'm saying? She is the original source consciousness, dark jazzy source consciousness that spun or personified from the thought of the pre-existing one, poor Mandrakes. You see what I'm saying? We're gonna take this step by step. After she manifested herself, she began to do what? Create. You see what I'm saying? When she began to create, she was like, so how am I going to create? And this is when what you like to call Christos came into being. Christos is what? Mass soul consciousness or the oversoul. These are the myriad or many or a lot of souls that self-willed themselves into existence at the desire of their prime creator, Protonoia's wish to create more. And so they self-willed themselves or self-generated themselves into existence. And they became the mass oversoul, or what we know today as the Christos. You see what I'm saying? The Christos. See what I'm saying? So when she did this, then they all went and they created the all. You see what I'm saying? With her up under her instruction. You see what I'm saying? She's the invisible dark jazzy intelligence that empowers and instructs the pleroma or the all. You see what I'm saying? So what have we learned here? You got poor Mandrakes, the pre-existing one. Then you got Protonoia, the first thought, the omnipresent first thought or first idea, or what we know as source melanin, the dark jazzy intelligence. Then you get what? The Christos, the oversoul, the mass soul consciousness that self-willed themselves into existence at the desire of Protonoia's will to create. You see what I'm saying? To create further. So then they created the pleroma, which is the all realm or the primordial realm. You see what I'm saying? So now you're starting to make sense now. You see what I'm saying? Or the original source realm. So that's full of light. What do they mean by full of light? Full of its supreme intelligence. Full of supreme intelligence here. So this is what you got going on here. From there, after the pleroma was created, after everything was set up, as the pre-existing one got in the game, you know, let's see here. Let's see. Next, these souls, Protonoia and Protonoia, will then produce all manner of aeons. Those are realms of consciousness. You see what I'm saying? Spheres of consciousness. See what I'm saying? All types of realms and aeons within aeons, and all type of angels and spirits and elementals and deities and immortals and so on and so forth. You see what I'm saying? Fairies and all these divine beings that would burst into being due to their thought. You see what I'm saying? We're dealing with mind, now we're dealing with the archetypes, the original blueprint of creation. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on. Then once they did all that, once they created the pleroma and all the aeons and spheres of consciousness and beings and planes of existences within existences and so on and so forth, they expanded it to limitless heights until Protonoia, the first thought, had a desire to expand beyond the pleroma. You see what I'm saying? She had the desire to expand beyond the pleroma. This desire to expand beyond the pleroma manifested or personified as Sophia. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Soul wisdom, gnosis. So protanoia, the first thought, the divine word, the logos. You see what I'm saying? The divine word, the divine utterance, the divine speaker, ready to come out of the primordial realm and expand further out into creation. She now needs a new version of herself on this side of the equation, which she calls upon herself and calls herself Sophia. You see what I'm saying? Which is supreme soul wisdom, what we know as gnosis. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on here. This is what you got going on. So next, what happens? Sophia begins to create the realm of what? Antimatter. You see what I'm saying? Antimatter. Well, the first thing that spun out of pleroma was the elementary realm, or the elementary particles known as antimatter. Through this process of expanding this realm, you get many different particles and photons and gluons and bosons and also known as midichlorians, and you get fuons and many different elementary particles come manifested to existence as Sophia's will and for Sophia's desire to create on this side of the equation. You see what I'm saying? She's the divine orchestrator on this side of the equation. So let us continue here. So Sophia expands a realm of antimatter to its highest heights. So now she does what? She decides to give birth to her daughter. And to what? The atom. You see what I'm saying? The atom. You see what I'm saying? The miniature universe. So now she's giving birth to what? The quantum realm. See what I'm saying? The quantum realm. So now, and the quantum realm produces the first atom. You see what I'm saying? Or atom, as y'all know in the story. The quantum universe, the miniature universe, or the art of the small, as it's also called. Now, she gives Atom her daughter, Zoe. It's Zoe right now because we're in the quantum realm. Zoe literally means life. Why does she mean life? Because Zoe is the personification of quantum evolution. So it's the miniature universe, then Zoe is the expansion or growth of that miniature universe, and it will expand and become what we know as the quantum realm. So this is what you got going on here. This is what you got going on. It's piece by piece, bit by bit. And by the time they got done expanding the quantum realm, it became what? A microcosm. You see what I'm saying? Miniature universes. You see what I'm saying? A blueprint of miniature universes. That's what the microcosm is. Now, so we continue on with the process of decoherence. What is decoherence? Decoherence is simply, say for example, we have a tree. Atoms getting together to agree to be that tree. That's what the process of decoherence really is in quantum physics. So let's continue. So we got so far we got what? We got the pre-existing one, Pormandres, the divine first thought, the omnipresent first thought, also known as the logo, the divine word, protanoia. We get the Christos, mass soul consciousness, also known as the oversoul. We get the pleroma and all that was created, all the beings and realms and aeons that was created. Then we get Sophia. And then we get she produces the elementary realm of antimatter. Then we get Atom and Zoe, which is the birth for the atom and the quantum realm. So now something else happens. Alright. So this is where the story gets interesting. It says in the story that Sophia said, you know what? I desire to create without my divine mate, right? So she decides to create without her divine mate, and she produces inside of her a deficiency, or shadow as they call it. And this shadow is known as Yaldabaoth, the demiurge. His angelic names is Samael and Nebuel, right? Which both basically mean the blind God. You see what I'm saying? The unseeing one, right? You see what I'm saying? The celestial ego. So, let us continue here. What's up, Anthony? What's up, Daniel? So let us continue here. So, the celestial ego, he's produced. So she casts him out into what they call chaos, which is actually the material realm. You see what I'm saying? The uncreated material realm. That's what chaos is, or the underworld is. So he grows up thinking that he was the only one, right? He grows up thinking that he was the only one. So time goes on. He grows up, sees that he's the only one. Sophia starts feeding him supreme knowledge, or soul wisdom, right? So through her supreme wisdom and supreme instruction, he begins to do what? Create the material world. He creates the cosmos. Then he creates world rulers. At this time, just simply angels, not yet archons, world rulers, who created the cosmos and planets and planetary spheres, right? So the stars, the meteors, and all other cool things you know about space, right? And so this was going on. This was going on. Next, after they create the cosmos, what happens? What happens next? Well, he creates his dimensional realms and everything, you know, they set up shop in what they call the heavens, that sits between the quantum realm and the physical realm. What is this known as? This is known as the astral plane. You see what I'm saying? So they set up their astral heavens or whatever, their principalities and all this cool shit that they do. And so as they sit here chilling, living life, you know, Yaldabaoth gets the big head. He becomes egotistical in his triumphs. You see what I'm saying? And he begins to boast that he's the only God in existence and there's no other besides him. And this is the first sin. You see what I'm saying? Sophia and the rest of the pleroma and the rest of the heavens hear this and are appalled. And like, whoa, nigga, you get ahead of yourself. It's way more than you. You see what I'm saying? It's way more than you. Because of this decision, you know, Sophia says that, alright, since how you want to say that, you know, we gotta banish you. You know, we're gonna give you a chance to repent. He chooses not to repent. He's like, nah, I'm the only God there is. Show me another God. So the first God that comes down is who? Protonoia. You see what I'm saying? What's up, Jamal? What's up, Annabelle? The Protonoia comes down. She the first goddess, the first thought. You see what I'm saying? Showing herself. Right behind her comes the Christos, mass soul, the personification of mass soul consciousness. And he was shocked. You see what I'm saying? Which will later on become Lucifer and Jesus Christ and the Baphomet. You see what I'm saying? Later on down the timeline. See what I'm saying? But Protonoia, who is Sophia, who is also Zoe, personifies himself in the material realm. In the astral plane, actually. It's the astral plane. And it blew his fucking mind. He was like, oh shit, it is other guys to me. So all the archons, because now they all begin to get in their mind they're about to rebel against the pleroma, right? So they start to shift from being angels to archons, world rulers now. You see what I'm saying? Spiritual jailers, celestial vampires now. You know, they start, this is the beginning of that rebellious thought in their mind, right? So Yaldabaoth, you know, he shook up. So the archon was like, I thought you said you was the only one. And he was like, shit, I thought I was the only one too. So they was like, so what you gonna do now? You gonna let these motherfuckers who we ain't never seen before punk us? And Yaldabaoth was like, hell no. Ain't about to let these niggas punk us. So we gonna do what we do. So now, Sophia, in order to begin the process of redemption, implants in his mind the idea to create humans. You see what I'm saying? To create humans. So what they do, they go to this planet, this plane of existence called Earth. the heart realm, also known as Midgard. You see what I'm saying? So while they're here in this Garden of Eden, this paradise that they produce, this construct that they produce for these beings, they start to produce Adam. Adam is actually the physical, the physical creation. We can say that the quantum Adam, we can call him Adamus. Well, this Adam, or Atum, whichever one you prefer, Adamus or Atum. See what I'm saying? We'll call the physical Adam, just regular Adam then. So the physical Adam gets produced or whatever, and we see the physical Adam, and we're like, all right, we're gonna make him in the likeness. We're gonna fashion him after us, the world rulers, the archons, but we're gonna make him in the likeness of the pleroma, the pre-existing one, the Christos, the protonoia. You see what I'm saying? So when he did this, they all had a hand in creating the physical body. They all put their energies and aspects and frequencies into creating this physical body. And it says in the Origin of the World story that each what's the word I'm looking for? Each being had a hand in building different parts or fashioning different parts of the body, and the chakra system as well. You see what I'm saying? So this is what you got going on here when you're dealing with this. This is why we said that this body is an apparatus and it's been compromised. You see what I'm saying? And this is why you get sick and unhealthy and everything, because these beings program the body to feed off of. So Sophia sees this, right? So now she hatches a plan to transfer the soul wisdom she gave Yaldabaoth into Adam, and she tricks Yaldabaoth into giving Adam that soul energy. So when he see the soul, the light and everything gets absorbed by him and shot into Adam, and Adam comes to life, because they couldn't bring him to life without a soul, without a rook. You see what I'm saying? Without that divine spark, when she breathes that divine light into him, then he comes to life. You see what I'm saying? He comes to life. When he comes to life, he automatically knows more than the archons. You see what I'm saying? Also, what was also installed in him was Protonoia's spiritual wisdom or inner voice. You see what I'm saying? That's why we all have the inner voice inside of us. That's Protonoia speaking to you. You see what I'm saying? In here and up here. You see what I'm saying? That's Protonoia speaking to you, guiding you to true life balance. You see what I'm saying? So now as we continue, what's up, Baka? What's up, D? So now we continue. Adam, he the angels tell him to name the animals and trees and plants and everything in the garden, and he names them, and you're like, okay, this is a bad motherfucker. So now they get together and begin to plot against Adam. You see what I'm saying? And so the next thing happened was Eve's body was fashioned by Zoe and Sophia, and it materialized or whatever, and also, it got materialized or whatever. Well, the archons fashioned it as well, and Zoe implanted soul in her, supreme divine feminine wisdom. You see what I'm saying? So when she awoken, she had the knowledge, and the archons, her light was so strong, the archons could see it. Her shine, her glow, her soul glow was so strong, the archons could see it. You see what I'm saying? When they seen this shit, they said, all right, let us defile her, let us rape her, let us and implant our seed, which is where the seed of the archons come from, which is why we know there's two different bloodlines on this planet. You have the star children, and then you have the children of the archon. This is where it comes from. This is what the story is telling you right here. So they defile Eve, impregnate her, or whatever. They impregnate her with their archonic frequencies, right? So then we get into the part of the story where you get into the Garden of Eve story. Now, the usual. We kind of skip that part. They in the Garden of Eden chilling, and they blind. Their third eyes are closed. So the serpent Kundalini Shakti slides up to Eve and tell her to eat the tree of our knowledge, so you can know good and evil. And so when she ate of the tree, listening to Kundalini, her and Adam, third eyes open, and they became aware of the tree of knowledge. You see what I'm saying? They became aware, and they could see. They became conscious. You know, they awoken or whatever, right? So when they became conscious of what the fuck was going on around them, they realized they was naked. They realized when they said that they was naked, they weren't talking about they was naked physically. Of course, they knew that as well. They realized that they had been dumbed down. You see what I'm saying? That's what they meant by they was naked. They realized that they was asleep. You see what I'm saying? So, and when they seen the archons, they became terrified because the motherfuckers look like monsters. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? They look like monstrous beings. So when they came after them, looking for them in the Garden of Eden, the Yaldabaoth and his world rulers, Archonic host, they couldn't find them. And so when he asked what Adam was, he said, "Yeah, here I am." And that's when he found out that they had eaten from the tree of knowledge. So before they eat from the tree of eternal life, which is ascension, back into the pleroma, you know, back into the eternal realm, you know, they cast them down into the material earth. You see what I'm saying? See, that was the astral Garden of Eden there. You see what I'm saying? Midgard was the astral Garden of Eden, where they shot them down here to the material earth, which is the reflection of the astral Garden of Eden. So material earth is Eden. The whole earth is Eden. The Garden of Eden is the planet Earth, period. You see what I'm saying? But it was two earths. It was the astral earth and the physical earth. You see what I'm saying? That's why when you go to the astral realm, it looks just like the physical realm, albeit a little different, you know, a little bit more mythical. But y'all see where I'm coming from. So he thrust them down here to this realm here. That's when they started to learn pain, suffering, and all that. But Sophia's prophecy was, through this pain, through this cycle of judgment, trial, and tribulation, which is the 2,000-year Piscean cycle, they would come to be the archons destroyers. You see what I'm saying? At a prophesied time at the end of the age, right? Right. So that's which is happening now, of course. So that's why they allowed this to happen. This was all a setup to destroy the archons, because by defiling Eve, the archons didn't know that they was defiling themselves, because they fashioned the body after themselves. So to rape and defile something that you created is defiling yourself by default, because it's your creation. You know, just logic, right? So it continues on here. What happens next is Adam and Eve have children. You know, they have 3: Cain, Abel. They had one other daughter, but the one I want to focus on is Norea. Now, it will get good. It will get good again here. Norea. Now, let me talk about Norea. Norea is what you call the Redeemer. Right? Why is she the Redeemer? Let me turn to that page real quick. Let me turn to that page. What is it? Page 195. Let me tell you why she became the Redeemer. Because there was a distortion, thanks to Sophia creating this. Now, I know you're thinking, Marv, what they mean by this distortion? You know, Sophia made this mistake. Wow. Okay, so what is this about? The distortion is a mythological rendition of the fall of the priesthood of Aset, or Isis, as y'all know in ancient Egypt, or in reality, the divine melanated matriarch in ancient Egypt. That trauma, that distortion, is what they talking about when they said deficiency in the Gnostic teachings. Y'all see what I'm saying? So here we go. So far the divine feminine lineage, the melanated matriarchy goes protonoia, the first thought, the logos, the divine utterance. You see what I'm saying? She represents the logos, divine utterance, the first idea, the first consciousness. You see what I'm saying? The first self. You see what I'm saying? So then she has a daughter, which is Sophia, which is the manifestation of soul wisdom. Sophia has a daughter, which is Zoe, which is the manifestation of what? Quantum evolution, or simply life. You see what I'm saying? That's why she's known as, that's why when her name literally means life. She represents quantum evolution. Next is Eve. Now, who is Eve? Eve is soul wisdom personified on a physical plane, which is why her name Eve means evolution. Adam means, of course, atom. You see what I'm saying? Universe. You see what I'm saying? So physical universe, or the material universe. That's what Adam means on the physical plane. So if Adam is the material, it represents the material cosmos on the soul cosmos on the physical plane, or the manifestation of that cosmos on the physical plane, the macrocosm. The Eve is the evolution of that macrocosm, the evolution of the material realm, right? So that's what you got going on here. So that's Eve, right? So that's four daughters. Now she has a fifth. She has a daughter with Adam, and Adam and Eve produce who? Norea, which is the fifth daughter. Now all these beings mean something, right? So Eve was raped. So she becomes crucified. She becomes El Cristo Negres, the crucified one, right? You see what I'm saying? El Cristo Negres, the crucified one, because she took that hit. See what I'm saying? She the one who took that hit. So her daughter, Norea, with the story picks up, she gets fed up with these motherfucking archons, these world rulers. And this is what she says. This is what happens. This comes from the book, The Nature of the Rulers. She says this: Norea opposes the rulers. Here we go. The rulers went to meet Norea, for they planned to seduce her. Their leader said to her, their leader being Yaldabaoth, said to her, "Your mother Eve came to us," which is lie, they came to him. They came to her. But Norea turned to them and said, "You are the rulers of darkness. Damn you! You did not have sex with my mother, but with one of your own ilk, your own kind. For I am not from you. I am from the world above," the pleroma. The arrogant ruler turned with his might, and his expression was like a blazing fire. He was bold toward her and said, "You must serve us sexually as your mother Eve did, for I have been given authority over you." You see what I'm saying? But Norea turned with the power of God, God being not the Yaldabaoth, but God being Pormandres, right? So, but Norea turned with the power of God and called in a loud voice to the Holy One, the God of the All, Pormandres, "Help me with these unrighteous rulers and rescue me from their hands now," commanded them, right? An angel came down from heaven and said to her, "Why are you calling God? Why are you so bold toward the Holy Spirit?" Norea said, "Who are you?" The unrighteous rulers had left her. The angel said, "I am Elelith, understanding the great angel who stands before the Holy Spirit. I have been sent to speak with you and rescue you from the hand of the lawless ones. I shall teach you about your root." You see what I'm saying? Or about where you came from, your origin. So this is what you got going on. What's up, Ken? What's up, Sherry? Now, the dialogue of Norea and Elelith. This is where he tells her about, he gives her the game for the most part. Now, "I cannot describe the power of that angel. His appearance is like fine gold, and his garment is like snow." The garment is just your spiritual body. You see what I'm saying? Your light body. "My mouth simply cannot bear to speak of his power and the appearance of his face." Right? The great angel Elelith spoke to me and said, "I am understanding, and I am one of the four luminaries who stand before the great invisible spirit." And the great invisible spirit is they have a name. It's either Barbelos or Calypto. Let me see here. Marsanis. Let me see which one it is. Let me see. Because there's a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy of beings. So Trianos, okay. So we almost dead in. Martians, here we go. Okay, yeah. So the invisible spirit is protonoia. That's right. Right, because Calyptos is the androgynous spirit. That's down the timeline. There's some more manifestations later. So I am understanding. I am one of the four luminaries who stand before the great invisible spirit, protonoia. Do you think these rulers have power over you? None of them can overpower the root of truth, the origin of truth. For on behalf of the root of truth, a figure has appeared in the last days, and these authorities will be restrained. These authorities cannot defile you or their generation, for your home is with incorruptibility. Where the virgin spirit dwells, who is superior to the authorities of chaos and their world. So then he gives her the creation story. Then he gives us the story of Sabaoth, who is Yaldabaoth's child, who rebels against him. But I'm going to skip to the conclusion, where she get good. It said, I said, my Lord, am I also from their matter? You, and he then says, you and your offspring are from the Father, who was from the beginning, who is Pomandres. The souls come from above, from incorruptible light. So the authorities cannot approach them because of the spirit of truth within them. And all who know this way of truth are deathless among dying humanity. But their offspring will not appear now. It will appear after 3 ages and free them from the bondage of the authorities' era, which is now. See what I'm saying? That's the age that they talking about right now. What's up, Alexis? See what I'm saying? So dying will free them from the bondage of the authorities' era. I said, my Lord, how long will it be? This is what No Real asked him. How long will it be? He said to me, until the time when the true human in human form reveals the spirit of truth that the Father has sent. That's us star seeds coming back to reveal the truth, not the true knowledge. You see what I'm saying? Of self. You see what I'm saying? Then he will teach them about everything and anoint them with the oil of eternal life, given from the generation without a king. Then they will be free of blind thought. You know, blind thought just means their third eyes is closed. They will trample death, which is of the authorities, and they will ascend into the infinite light, where this offspring is. Then the authorities will surrender their years and ages. Then the authorities will surrender their years and ages. Their angels will weep over the destruction, and their demons will mourn over their death. Then all the children of light will know the truth, and their root, origin, and the Father thereof, and the Holy Spirit, which is Pomandres and Protonoia. They will all say with one voice, the Father's truth is just. The child is over all and with everyone forever and ever. Holy, holy, holy. Amen. So they basically telling you what it is there. They basically telling you what it is. See what I'm saying? They basically saying that at the end of the age is a group of beings who represent true humanity, which is us, who will come back and disseminate the true knowledge of self to everyone all over the planet and raise the consciousness of the planet so we can ascend up out of here. You see what I'm saying? What's up, Chill? So this is what you got going on here. So who is No Real? No Real is the Redeemer. You know, No Real is the Redeemer. How is she the Redeemer, Marvin? She was the first of her generation to say, yo, I'm done with this physical material bullshit. I'm ready to do something else. I'm out. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to go to the source, or at least a realm better than this shit here. That's not run by these crazy, demented, wicked motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? These dementors is draining the life force from me and my people. And they even raped my mother. Why the fuck would I even want to fuck with them like that, right? So in saying that, the pleroma, the all hears her, and they send an ambassador to teach her the way. They tell her what it is. And by doing this, she gets redeemed because she repented. Repentance just means you reconnected with your source self and is now ready to ascend to high levels of consciousness and ready to ascend into the greater multidimensional multiverse. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it means to repent, right? So she repented, and through that repentance, she healed the bloodline. In reality, this is the Coptic female, the Coptic melanated divine matriarch healing their bloodline through this spiritual science known as Gnosticism. That's what you got going on here. See what I'm saying? So, no real is the mythological rendition of the divine matriarchal bloodline, the feminine bloodline of the Coptic Egyptians who received this distortion due to the priesthood of our sect falling in ancient Egypt. This trauma, they healed their souls and redeemed themselves through the practice, through the spiritual practice, since in the occult science, or in this occult science, this enlightened redeeming science known as Gnosticism. So there you go. So that's the matriarch, right? That's what the matriarch do. So he told her that her bloodline will be blessed, which means the Coptic Egyptians' bloodline will be blessed. Now, as we well know, most of the Coptic Egyptians will leave Europe due to all the fuckery that was going on in Europe, and even due to the massacre that happened to the Coptic Egyptians and the Gnostic Inquisitions that would go on in Europe, because they was trying to suppress the knowledge, because it was a war between the Hebrews and Christians versus the Gnostics, and it was a war between them because it was two warring schools. It was the Star Children versus the Children of the Archon. You see what I'm saying? And so their war, the Gnostics actually lost. The Coptics actually lost their war, so a lot of them migrated to the west. And when they got over here to America, which is the prophecy of the Master of the Universe coming over here anyway to the west, anyway the northwest. When they got over here, they brought their sciences with us, and that's why by the time fucking the Spaniards and everybody got over here, there was already teachings on the Holy Cross. You see what I'm saying? Now you see where it's all coming from. The Gnostics brought those teachings over here long before the Gnostics, who are the Coptic Egyptians, and the /Greek Egyptians as well, originally the Greek Egyptians, brought those teachings over here long before the Spaniards even got over here. So it was already an advanced science on Gnosticism over here, and it was known as the sciences of the Holy Cross. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you have those teachings already over here, because it was brought over here by the Gnostics. You see what I'm saying? So now, that's the matriarchy. That's the matriarchy. You see what I'm saying? It took 5 generations to heal their bloodline. You see, heal their bloodline, the matriarchal bloodline. Now, what happened with the patriarchal bloodline? See what I'm saying? So let me go over here real quick. Let's see. Give me a second here. Alright. So now, the divine melanated patriarchy. What happens with them? There's another being in the pleroma known as Protophanes. You see what I'm saying? So you got Protonoia, who is the Logos, the divine utterer, the first thought. Well, one of her manifestations and favorite amongst some of the pleroma was known as her son, Protophanes. You see what I'm saying? Now, Protophanes, it represents the concept of supreme knowledge of self. You see what I'm saying? Knowledge of self. He represents that concept, supreme knowledge and wisdom of self, right? So now, his job was to, they created this being as a process to begin to redeem the divine melanated patriarchy. Now, why the divine melanated patriarchy need to be healed? Well, in ancient Egypt, due to the fall of ancient Egypt, the priesthood of Asa, which is Osiris, fell. You see what I'm saying? And they also received this distortion. And so when that happened, what happened? You see what I'm saying? That's where you get the myth with Aset and Asa, or Osiris and Isis. That's where you get this myth from. He was cut into pieces, divided up, and she had to put them back together, yada, 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 yada. You know, and the only thing she couldn't find was his what? His penis, you know, the dick. Why she couldn't find the dick? Because only he could find his manhood. Only he could summon the God within him and become erect again. You see what I'm saying? Become whole again. You see what I'm saying? So what happened next? What goes down is Protophanes becomes Lucifer. Who is Lucifer? Lucifer is the morning star. They give you this story that Lucifer fell from heaven. And he fell to earth. But in the story they used to say he fell to hell. Why did he fall to hell? What is hell? The morning star is a representation of the morning soul, the sad soul, who falls to earth, which they consider to be the underworld or hell, to incarnate into this physical body, which is hell to the soul. What's hell to an immortal soul? Conditions, restrictions, boundaries, limitations. That's hell to an immortal, limitless entity. That's what Lucifer represents. Lucifer represents Protophanes, the supreme knowledge of self, falling to earth as the divine soul, the divine spark, and incarnating into this physical body to do this work, to do this work, to heal this realm and transmute this realm into something new. You see what I'm saying? Usurping from Yaldabaoth and his archons. You see what I'm saying? So the soul already knows this before incarnate, because remember, you still have your memories before you incarnate down here. It's only when you incarnate when you lose your memories. You see what I'm saying? When they program amnesia down here into the body. You see what I'm saying? So the morning soul falls to hell and enters the body, right? So the sad, like, damn, now I gotta do this shit for such amount of time. So let's get this shit the fuck over with. That's why Lucifer is the morning star, not MORNING, MOURNING. Morning, sad, depressed. You see what I'm saying? Cause you come into somewhere that has limitations, that has restrictions, that forces you to that a place that if you don't get this right, you could be locked down here for a while. That's why they call this place Tartarus, prison. You see what I'm saying? You could be locked down. You gonna be locked down here until you get it right. And what do they call this? They call that the cycle of reincarnation. Until you get this shit right, you gotta keep coming down here. You see what I'm saying? They even program the astral light for your ass. So if you do try to escape without the level of occult knowledge, they tell you to go into the light. Your ass foolishly go into the light, and that light channels you right back down here. And you next time you know, you in the womb, fucking your soul get thrust back into another fucking body. After your body is birthed out of the womb. You see what I'm saying? Your souls get kicked right back into that motherfucker. And now you gotta do it all over again. And it could be worse this time, because you could be either dumber or smarter than you was before in the previous life. That's why they say, if you got this occult knowledge this time, don't play with this shit. Do what you need to do with it. Do your internal work, do your chakra work, do your shadow work, have your kundalini awaken, and rise up out of this motherfucker. That's why they tell you that. Because you're dealing with beings who know who the fuck you are. And when you incarnate down here and you have the opportunity to learn this, you have enough life experience to awaken to this shit, don't take it for granted. Because if you take it for granted, the next life you could be an idiot. You could be a dumb motherfucker. You could be retarded around here. Hell, shit, you may be a genius in this life, but in the next life your ass may have Down syndrome, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's around this bitch. You see what I'm saying? You may be a crack baby, a drug baby. You never fucking know. So it's in your best interest while you down here, if you a genius and you got this knowledge and you awoken to this knowledge, to do everything in your power to goddamn do this, to do the work to ascend to your Godhead. You see what I'm saying? Your crown chakra is just a piece of the puzzle. Now ascend your kundalini awakening, ascend out of your chakra system come out of her, my people. One of the meanings of that phrase, come out of her and ascend back into your Godhead. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Don't just come out of America, come out of all this shit. You see what I'm saying? Don't just come out of this plane of existence, come out of it all, the astral, all that shit. You gotta come out of everything. You see what I'm saying? So once you come out of this shit, then you free. Then you may come back down here. You see what I'm saying? Descend your consciousness back down here and teach others how to do what you did, or give them your roadmap to do what you did, so they can have maybe an easier time figuring this shit out with your information. That's all we doing. We disseminate information to give you the opportunity to grab this shit so you can do it faster than we did. You can take it and take it to the next level. You see what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. That's what Lucifer represents. Now, Lucifer, once he's in the body and starts to live life as the body, he becomes Jesus Christ, the crucified one, or Heru Christos also, or Heru Pantera. Heru Pantera is the original name of Jesus Christ, by the way. You see what I'm saying? The original name of Jesus Christ is Heru Pantera. Heru, the champion deity. Pan is the shepherd. Pan is the shepherd. You see what I'm saying? Pan is the shepherd. What does shepherd represent? Shepherd represents God, or spiritual guide, right? And then Terra is another name for Earth. So it's the champion guide, or the champion sage of Mother Earth. You see what I'm saying? That's what Heru Pantera represents. So Gnostic Jesus is the champion who will redeem the divine melanated patriarchy. That's why he's a champion. You see what I'm saying? That's what we dealing with him. That's what we dealing with him. How did Jesus become the redeemer if he got crucified on the cross, Mark? Well, that's a damn good question. Well, Heru Christos, or Jesus as y'all also call him, because Jesus is nothing but a title. Heru comes across one of his baddest students, or the 12 disciples, known as Judas Iscariot. Now the Hebrews wrote him off as a betrayer, but in the Gnostic teachings, he is Jesus, Heru's best student, best and favorite student. You see what I'm saying? Next to Mary, of course, next to his lover, his best student, right? And he tells Judas straight up, you about to have a hard motherfucking life. He tell you from the Barbelo Aeon, which is one of the advanced spiritual aeons in the pleroma, right? One of those advanced ones, right? Which we're gonna get to later. So he tells you, like yo, you about to have a hard motherfucking life. So yeah, and I'm just telling you, the Barbelo Aeon represents the androgynous mind. You see what I'm saying? The androgynous mind. So he said you about to have a hard life because I'm gonna need you to take this hit for me so I can redeem the bloodline. You see what I'm saying? So Judas, then they hatch a plan at the Last Supper, cause he pulls him to the side and said, yeah, I need you to do this. So he goes, so Jesus yells out loud, go forth and do what you came here to do. So Judas leaves, and that's when he goes to the Pharisees and tells them he gonna betray Jesus. And when he betrays Jesus for 30 pieces of silver, you know, that's when he chooses to be the one to be crucified on the cross. You see what I'm saying? That's when he chooses to be the one to be crucified on the cross, while Jesus, on the other hand, ascends and redeems the bloodline, or the divine melanated patriarch. You see what I'm saying? So what we have here, Jesus, you know, he becomes the redeemer, divine melanated patriarchy, and Judas Iscariot is El Cristo Negro, the crucified one. So when they talk about that motherfucker who got crucified on the cross, they talking about Judas Iscariot. They're not talking about Jesus. You see what I'm saying? Jesus became the redeemer. He went to through the mysteries of Gnosticism, and even to some of the secret mystery schools in ancient Egypt. He went and he learned he needed to learn to heal his bloodline. So he purged out the distortion, the trauma, the blockages, he healed his shadow and purified his shadow just like Noreel did before him, so he could heal the divine patriarchal bloodline. Once he did this, then the whole divine melanated patriarchy was redeemed from that point on. And that's why he became your savior. But it's two saviors. He your savior, and the real is your savior. Jesus or Heru Christo is a divine melanated patriarchy savior. But because he healed the distortion that was caused due to the fall of ancient Egypt, and motherfucking Norreal healed the divine melanated matriarchy's bloodline due to what happened in ancient Egypt. You see what I'm saying? So you had two saviors. You see what I'm saying? And they just represent these beings through this system known as Gnosticism, healed and redeemed themselves through this process. And Norreal and Heru Christos or Jesus just represents these beings putting in the work to heal themselves with this particular esoteric science, which we know as Gnosticism. And they will go on to spread this knowledge over here. And that's why we became so golden over here. Because nobody interrupted us like they was interrupting them over there. So we had not only our advanced sciences over here, we had the Gnosticism to go with that shit. So by the time motherfuckers came over here, we was glowing gold around this motherfucker. We had the glow like Bruce Leroy. You see what I'm saying? We was vibrating high over here. And them motherfuckers couldn't believe it. They just called it the El Dorado, the city of gold. The cities of gold. Actually, the continent of gold. Amaruka. You see what I'm saying? So now it's all starting to make sense with this Gnosticism when they came over here. They brought their signs of the Holy Cross. We just call it the signs of the Holy Cross over here. But over there was known as Gnosticism, which we would go later on adopt that name once we find out, later on down timeline. But over here we just called it simply the signs of the Holy Cross. So that cross represents death, the crucified one. And, we did it in honor of Judas Iscariot, in which they told us what he did in his story. How those El Cristo Negroes and El Cristo Negresses, how ancient Egypt fell and what happened. And, we gave them the signs on what went down. And so here it goes for you. We want you to do what we did with it, and since how we didn't have no obstruction over here, no wars over here at the time, it was paradise over here. So since we didn't have no wars over here in Amaruka, you see what I'm saying, Mamaruka, shit, by the time them motherfuckers came over here, which was like, they didn't come over here to the 1400s. The Gnostics had been in existence since 100 AD, recorded. You see, they recorded. It's probably been around longer than that, but recorded 100 AD. So I'm going to say Gnostics has been around since at least 2000 BC. We usually about 1,000 to 2,000 years ahead of the fucking game. You see what I'm saying? So Gnosticism unrecorded was 1,000 to 2,000 BC. So Gnosticism is about 4,000 years old. You see what I'm saying? The science known as Gnosticism, right? So when they came over here with it, they gave it to us, and we melded it into our ancient teachers. So we talking about they didn't get here to 1492. Gnosticism has been in existence since 2000 BC. So we talking about at least 1,000 years on them motherfuckers, at least 1,200 years with the science before the Spaniards even came over here. We was glowing gold. We was vibrating gold around here. With the East meets the West, the sciences of the Gnosticism, and our own indigenous ancient American sciences, shit, that's why we was glowing gold. That's why we had the glow. That's why we was known as El Dorado, the cities and continents of gold. So now y'all seeing how this shit connect, right? Because we was all one people, so we sailed and traveled, and traded knowledge all the time. We even had embassies. They even had embassies over here. You see what I'm saying? The Moors and everybody, the Moors. They traded with us, which they called the Mu'er, which I'm going to get into that later on down timeline. But yeah. This was going on. They healed the divine patriarchal bloodline. And now, the only other thing left to do, one of the only things left to do was, let's see here. Let's see. There's a particular, before I get to that, I want to talk about the celestial hierarchy. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to put that on hold, just keep it, remember, you've been redeemed, black man and black woman. You've been redeemed already. They tell you that you gotta go and redeem yourselves and all that shit. The only thing you gotta do is your internal work. You see what I'm saying? The only thing you gotta do is your internal work and vibrate high. And your internal work, like I said, includes chakra work, shadow work, kundalini awakening, rising up out of your fucking chakra system back into your Godhead. That's what internal work is, so you become one with the universe and yourself and the pre-existing one, for Mandris and the all once more. You see what I'm saying? You become one with everything. So, you become a living, breathing, true Jedi master. You see what I'm saying? Source God or sorcerer, master side down here. You see what I'm saying? I'm out. Water. So yeah, you become a master scion down here. So next. So next. You know, they tell us that we third dimensional beings. Well, according to the Gnostic hierarchy, they consider the material realm the first dimension. Yep. And everything up under the first dimension is known as the universal nether realms or the Dozakian hell realms. Y'all can refer to my underworld, my Underverse Chronicles video if y'all want to know more about the underworlds. You see what I'm saying? The underverse is the under dimensions, the nether realms. You see what I'm saying? Y'all want to know more about them. But they consider this the first dimension. Let me tell you the hierarchy. The hierarchy is based off 13 seals or 13 dimensional hierarchy. And this is how it works. What's up, my tour? This is how it works. You got the first dimension, which is the first corporal, the physical, the material realm, which is right here, which is where we at right now. Then you got the second dimension, also corporal, but it's the sublunar realm, which is the atmosphere. The atmosphere is around the mesosphere, the ionosphere, all of that. All that consists of being a realm, because there's actually entities in the sky. I know y'all know that, because you got the sylphs, which is air elementals, they live in the sky. You got sky cities that live in the sky, you know, in the alternate realms of existence. I think they call Triperta, or in East India, or the sky cities, if I'm not mistaken. See what I'm saying? Triperta, the sky cities. So you got sky realm, you got a whole other sky realm up there in the atmosphere. You see what I'm saying? It's known as the sublunar realm. You see what I'm saying? So next, after that, you got the third, non-corporeal but sensible, the planetary spheres, which is the material cosmos. You see what I'm saying? That includes planets, stars, suns, you know, meteors, nebulas, you know, clusters, black holes, white holes, you know, neutron stars, all that shit. The cosmos. You see what I'm saying? As y'all know it. See what I'm saying? Next, after that, would be the sojourn, what they call the sojourn. That's where the incorporeal, disembodied souls go. Which y'all know that is the astral plane. You know the motherfuckers that's locked. They say they locked and become spirits. They just wander the earth. They ain't talking about physical earth. They talking about astral earth. But they can whisper in your ear from the astral plane to do dumbass shit. You see what I'm saying? Because they try to lower your vibration so they can possess you. That is a true statement. So there you go. There you go. Next, after that, you get the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension, which y'all know is the fifth dimension, and that's the incorporeal repentant souls. You see what I'm saying? That's the incorporeal repentant souls, which is the realm of individual soul enlightenment. That's us when we get to the fifth dimension. That particular realm will be us as enlightened souls. We get it now. We went down there, dealt with that bullshit. We get it now. Shit, we got it together now. We got our shit together. See what I'm saying? And corporal just means we spiritual now. We highly advanced spiritual bodies now. See what I'm saying? We no longer just spurious matter after the third dimension, which is the cosmos, or what they call chaos, or the underworld, or the Amentian dimension. So then you got, like I said, the sojourn, which is the fourth dimension, astral plane. Then you got the repentance, which is the fifth dimension. You see what I'm saying? The fifth dimension, the realm of individual repentant, reconnected soul enlightenment. You see what I'm saying? We've all individually reached soul of certain level of enlightenment where we vibrate on the whole other spiritual frequency. And not only that plane is vibrating on the whole other spiritual frequency. See what I'm saying? Next is the 7th dimension. That was the 5th dimension. So next is the 6th dimension. My bad. The self-generated aliens incorporate the individuals. That's when if we repented and reconnected on the 5th dimension, then we get to the 6th dimension. We've advanced, because one thing to reconnect is another thing to advance ourselves to our highest heights. Well, that's where the 6th dimension come in. We've advanced ourselves to our highest height, and now we're starting to become one unified mind or one unified collective consciousness, right? So this is what you did it with. They said the self-generated aliens incorporate the individuals. You see what I'm saying? The individuals. So now you becoming your individual spirit, your individual soul is vibrating so high now that we're slowly but surely starting to become one collective unified consciousness, right? So now, let us continue here. Then you got dimension 7, also known as the autogenes or the autogenesis. You see what I'm saying? Also known as the realm of the enlightened souls or the oversoul. This is the realm where we become one unified consciousness, because that's that 7th chakra, that 7th frequency, that 7th dimensional chakra, that 7th frequency, right? So now we've become one unified collective consciousness on this level. You see what I'm saying? So that's what the autogenes is. Next is protophanes, the supreme awareness of the supreme knowledge of self. This is where we start to get enlightened about the rest of the pleroma. You see what I'm saying? This is where you start to get it now. So this is where you start to get all your supreme knowledge of all of everything above the realms we were just in. You see what I'm saying? Now, next, you get Calyptos. I know y'all heard of Calyptos. Calyptos is the androgynous spirit. That's the 9th dimension. So now you're vibrating so fucking high, you just nothing but pure fucking spirit now. You see what I'm saying? You a holistic spirit. We now holistic beings completely now. We understand what we did. We understand where we came from. We understand where we must go. We got the force now. We've utilized that force to its highest heights. Now we've become one with the force. You see what I'm saying? So there you go. Next, you got the Barbello Aeon, which is the 10th dimension, which is the androgynous mind. You see what I'm saying? Alright, so now we got our spirits right. Now, the androgynous or holistic mind, the neutral mind, the collective consciousness has advanced to its highest heights. You see what I'm saying? You have advanced to its highest heights. Next, so next, we ascend to the 11th dimension, which is known as the triple power one, which you know as the Christos. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? What you know as the Christos, as I've been telling y'all, that's the mass oversoul consciousness. You see what I'm saying? That you originally came from. And so now your individual collective consciousness that you agreed to work with is now about to absorb back into oversoul consciousness back on the 11th dimension, or the 11th frequency. You see what I'm saying? The 11th frequency, cosmic frequencies of this celestial cosmos. You see what I'm saying? Next, after the 11th dimension, you ascend into what? The invisible spirit, which is the 12th dimension, protonoia. Now, you vibrating on protonoia's level, she's going to teach you about the logos. You see what I'm saying? That's the logos. So she's going to teach you about the first thought. You see what I'm saying? The original divine utterance. You see what I'm saying? You're going to learn about how she created the all. She was the one who did that. How she descended down here, did her work 3 times and did what she did, and set up shop for us to get here. And now you finally here, and we gonna spit game to you and let you know what it is. And finally, after you master the 12th dimension, you ascend to the 13th dimension, which is known as the unknown silent one, who is Pormandres, the pre-existent one. You see what I'm saying? Now, with the pre-existent one, they tell you once you get to this point, it's no longer about figuring him out or figuring it out. My bad, figuring it out, because he androgynous, both he and she, and it, and he's beyond the concept. He's beyond the concepts because he's unmanifested. So once you get to the pre-existent one, the game changes. You can no longer figure it out because Port Mandarin can't be figured out because it's unmanifested. You see what I'm saying? So it's not a mathematical equation. It's actually an alchemical process. Or in other words, you can only experience Port Mandarin through direct internal experience, or direct internal experience. That's the only way you can have this revelation about, or this realization about Port Mandarin. You can only experience it through direct internal experience. You see what I'm saying? Through direct internal revelation and realization. You see what I'm saying? That's the only way you're gonna be able to experience the pre-existing one, because it's unmanifested. So you can't figure it out. You can't figure something that doesn't exist or pre-exist out, because it has no form. You see what I'm saying? It has no mathematical computation. You can only experience it through alchemical process. You see what I'm saying? So through divine revelation or divine realization. That's the only way you're going to experience Port Mandarin, the pre-existing one. See what I'm saying? What's up, Latil? What's up, Blake? So now let me tell you my experience of, because it took me years to figure that part out, I told y'all earlier in the lecture who Port Mandarin was, or what Port Mandarin was. It's just simply, it is known as the unmanifested one, but it's just simply pre-self-consciousness, pre-supreme self-consciousness, and pre-supreme self-being, or pre-supreme self-consciousness and being. You see what I'm saying? That's what Port Mandarin is. And that's just me giving it a description, just so y'all minds can have something to latch on to. But once I figured out that I can no longer figure this being out like it's a mathematical equation, I just had to accept that it existed, and it revealed itself to me through divine revelation. What we mean by divine revelation? Divine just means diving inside yourself through inner realization in my meditations. You see what I'm saying? And it will come to me, and it will spit game to me. It would tell me, it will come to me in a flash of light, and then it would absorb into my heart chakra. Then it would pass through my heart chakra, and it will enter my soul. Now, when it entered my soul, it enlightened it and showed me what the soul was composed of. I wrote it down. So let me tell you what the soul is composed of real quick. Let's see here. I called it the soul's composition. Now let me check this out. The soul is composed of 1/3 diamond white light, which is source light, 1/3 diamond black light, which is source melanin, and 1/3 individual immortal consciousness, which is personal self-existence. Now, you receive the diamond white light from Port Mandarin, the pre-existing one. You receive the diamond black light from Protonoia, the first thought. You see what I'm saying? The supreme, you see what I'm saying? So from Protonoia, the logos. And you received your immortal consciousness from Sophia. You see what I'm saying? From Sophia. Well, actually, no. You received your immortal consciousness was already installed inside of you due to your process of self-willing yourself into existence. That's where your immortal consciousness comes from. What Sophia did was program your soul into these bodies so that we can have this experience, so that we can transmute this realm into something new. That's what Sophia did. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? And what I said was, you have to experience it for yourself. I can explain it to you all day, but some of your consciousness is gonna be like, what the fuck is he talking about? Until you have the direct inner experience yourself. You see what I'm saying? So there you go. And it's your inner voice, Protonoia, that guides you. You see what I'm saying? So there you go. So get back there. That's what the soul is composed of. 1/3 diamond white light, source light, 1/3 diamond black light, source melanin, and 1/3 immortal consciousness, which is self-existence. You see what I'm saying? Supreme self-existence. So that's what it's composed of. That's the experience I had, and that's what it wanted me to reveal to y'all. Now, what was I? Alright, now that y'all know the hierarchy, we can move on to the next lesson. What was I? I was telling y'all how, you know, let's see, how, oh yeah, telling y'all about y'all redemption. Right, the redemption. There we go. Now the redemption is known as the restoration. You see what I'm saying? The restoration. We're dealing with the restoration. You see what I'm saying? What are we dealing with? What are we dealing with? This process, this hell we went through for the past, it's actually only been 500 years. How about that? It's only been 500 years, but, you know, they so-called conquered us 500 years ago, right? But it feels like 6,000 years, because within that 500-year time frame, they have gotten their hands on advanced time manipulation technologies and have been going back in time, altering the timeline. So it feels like they've been here for 6,000 years versus only 500 years. That's what these archons and they did. They went back as far as 3000 BC for our ancestral time lords caught up with their ass and started fucking their asses up. And so that's why they never really want to talk about anything past 3000 BC for real. Because that 3000 BC up until now is their main timeline. You see what I'm saying? That's about 6,000 years, if I'm not mistaken. So that's mainly when you hear about them. Start hearing about them around 3000 BC on down. You see what I'm saying? So you hear about the fuckery they be doing. So these archons, you know, and these beings who traveling or whatever, they doing what they do. You know, they fucking shit up, and our Time Lords can't see them. And y'all want to know a TV show that tells you about this, watch Doctor Who. They tell you about this ancient war between the Time Lords and the, I think it's the Daleth, if I'm not mistaken, Daleth. But the Daleth, and it was this ancient war, and they tell you all our Time Lords got killed, and all the Daleth was supposed to been killed, and only Doctor Who survived, so he the sole surviving Time Lord. And fucking only a few Daleths survived too, and they supposed to be robots. And you already know, when we dealing with AI robots, we're dealing with the Archons. There's another aspect of them. You know, that ghost in the machine, you know, 01110. The ghost in the machine, the AI Archons code. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you got going on. That's what you got going on here. So because they been fucked with the timeline, it feels like we've been here way longer than what we're supposed to. It's a video game reality. They got us trapped in a time loop. That's why we say it's temporal warfare or time warfare. You see what I'm saying? So this led to, they kept doing that shit until it led up to what the Gnostics called the Resurrection. I mean, the Restoration. The Restoration. That's what they called it. See what I'm saying? The real Restoration. You see what I'm saying? Which is on page 673. Here we go. It says here, the Restoration. It says this: so when Sophia receives her partner, and Jesus received Christ, and the seeds are united with the angels, then the fullness will receive Sophia in joy, and that all will be joined together and restored. Then the aeons will have received their abundance, for they will have understood that even if they change, they remain unchanging. What do they mean by that? Sophia receives her partner, which has already happened. Her partner is the Baphomet, which is why they demonized the Baphomet. You see what I'm saying? If you type Baphomet's Greek name into the Hebrew Abbot cipher, it equals up to be Sophia. How about that? They'll never tell you that shit. So the Baphomet is Sophia's partner down here. Who is the Baphomet? The Baphomet is the occult Christos, or the hidden Christos, or the Amun of the Gnostic realm. You see what I'm saying? The Amun, the hidden one of the Gnostic realm. When El Cristo Negro, Jesus, realizes who he is and starts to tap back into his God or source knowledge, he starts to tap back into his hidden powers or his hidden forces or his hidden enlightenment and consciousness, and that personifies as the Baphomet. That's why everything about the Baphomet is a fucking alchemical process. You see what I'm saying? Alchemical equation. They got what? Solve on there. What does solve represent? It means to solve. It means problem solve, figure it out. Then he got coagula, means to put it all together. You figure it out by putting it all together. And of course, we already know what the Baphomet looks like. He's an androgynous goat. I already told y'all why it's a goat head. A goat head is a goat head because what do goats do? Goat sits on a mountain, which in metaphysical teachings and metaphysical lore represents the pineal gland, and it does what? It peers down on it uses all-seeing eye to perceive the world, the material world below. You see what I'm saying? That's what the goat energy does. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's a goat's head. So but most important, what sits on top of his head? A crown with a fire on top of it, which represents supreme enlightenment or supreme consciousness. Which usually, if you see the saints, they have like a gold orb around their head. That represents enlightened consciousness. Their electromagnetic field is enlightened with source knowledge. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you're seeing here. That's what you're seeing. So the first part of the restoration, which will happen in this period, will be this from 1900 to 120. I mean, from 1900 to 2020, it's the 120-year restoration period. Just to let y'all know when the restoration period is. So from 1900 to 2020, a lot of shit happened. A lot of wisdom hit the planet. See what I'm saying? So we found out about the Baphomet. He hits the planet. We find out he's been around, but he gets resurrected. We find out that the Baphomet is connected to Sophia. And we found out that Sophia in the Gnostic teachings was looking for her partner. And we realized that Baphomet is her partner. So that completes the first part of the prophecy. It says the second part of the prophecy is Jesus receives Christ. Who is Jesus? Jesus is us. Heru Christos, or El Cristo Negro, or El Cristo Negres. I already told y'all it's the black man and the black woman crucified on the cross over there in Angkor Wat, right? So we are crucified down here right now. We the living crucified ones. Just to live down here is an act of just to wake up every day and deal with this bullshit day to day is an act of sacrifice. That's why you are the living Christos. That's why you are the living what's up, Robin? That's why you the living Christos down here. That's why you the living crucified one. Cause just waking up and dealing with this shit on a daily basis is an act of sacrifice. Is an act of crucifixion. You see what I'm saying? It's an act of turmoil and pain and suffering and misery. You see what I'm saying? And dealing with error. Error is not dealing with sin, as they said. Dealing with sin. Sin is not what y'all think it is. Sin is literally the constant deficiencies and fuckeries that this dimension was already composed of, because it's the byproduct of a twisted creator by the name of Yaldabaoth, who created this realm in minute detail. It's a byproduct of his deficiency, his twisted mind, his fucked up idealism. You see what I'm saying? So since it's the byproduct of his twisted his twisted ideas, his demented mind state, him being a dementor, like they showed you in Harry Potter, just sucking the life out of everything downhill. Just you being down here dealing with that energy on a daily basis is the sacrifice, is you saving yourself and the people from sin. Because the rest of the people who not El Cristo Negroes, or hasn't become aware of them being El Cristo Negroes, are asleep to that fact. But you, the enlightened Christos, the Baphomet, already know what the fuck is going on. And you're trying to wake everybody else up to this fact. You see what I'm saying? That, no, you saving yourself from your sin, because your soul is dealing with this shit on a daily basis. You see what I'm saying? Because they tell you in the Bible that Jesus died for your sins. The soul did die for the sin, because it's locked in his body. and forgot who it was. Amnesia is what? A form of death. You see what I'm saying? So it died for its sins. It died for your sins. No, you died for your sins because you are your own soul. You are your own immortal consciousness. So when you forgot who you were, when you obtained amnesia, you became the crucified one. And just down here, not knowing who the fuck you are, in this state of suspended animation, is an act of crucifixion and sacrifice. It's a cruel act that's imposed upon you by this wicked creator, this wicked ruler known as Yaldabaoth, the demiurge. So there you go. You see what I'm saying? There you go. There you go. The true sin is forgetfulness. You see what I'm saying? That's what the sin is. The original sin is Baphomet's boasting that he was the only creator. You see what I'm saying? He sinned against the fucking creator. You see what I'm saying? Against the pleroma. You see what I'm saying? We, down here in his fucking wicked ass realm, his wicked ass mind, are dealing with the rage, the anger of the fact, the jealousy of the fact that he's not the only creator. You see what I'm saying? Just so we can transmute this shit into something new and assassinate that motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? Which he's already been assassinated. But, you know, so that's the second part of the resurrection. So fear receives a partner, which is the Baphomet. Jesus received Christ, which is enlightenment or soul consciousness, which is yourselves. And the seeds are united with the angels, which is the third part of the process. The seeds are united with the angels. That means you are reunited with your higher self. You see what I'm saying? You are reunited with your higher self. Then the fullness will receive, so feel. Your soul enjoy, because you have fulfilled all the prophecies that was during this period of restoration. That's why this shit's shutting down now, because we're almost done with this shit, and the fullness, the pleroma, the rest of the beings in existence are ready to receive us in joy, because we come down here and have done the magnum opus, the great work. You see what I'm saying? So then it says here, then the aeons, the other spheres of consciousness or realms of consciousness will have received their abundance, for they will have understood that even if they change, they remain unchanging. Which means even if you came down here and experienced all this change and all this bullshit, even when you go back, you still a soul. you still immortal conscious, no matter what the fuck you go through. You still are the divine spark, the divine entity, that immortal technique that exists and will always exist for forever and ever and ever. You see what I'm saying? So that's what they saying. Even though they understood that even if they change, they remain unchanging. Even if you have all these experiences and grow, you still remain, your nature still remain this immortal consciousness that spun in response to protonoia, the first thought, who spun out of the pre-existence one's ability to think upon himself or meditate upon himself. You see what I'm saying? So poor Mandres began to meditate and ponder upon himself, and his first thought after pondering upon himself was the logos, the divine word, the divine utterance, who is protonoia. So you still is of that nature, unchanging no matter what. You see what I'm saying? That's what they mean by, even though you've changed, you still realize that you unchanged. You see what I'm saying? It's a paradox. So there you go. There you go. So that's the restoration. That's the restoration. Now, finally, the last piece I want to talk to y'all about. Let's see here. Yes. Revelations. Let's see what. Revelations. We got to talk about Revelation, the end of the age, page 220. Alright. Let me read this to y'all and we'll wrap it up. Let's see. The end of the age. Here we go. Before the end of the age, this whole world will shake with loud thunder, vibrate. The archons will lament because of their fear of death, which is happening now. The angels will grieve for their human beings, the ones that work for them. The demons will weep over their times and seasons and their people The demons will weep over their times and seasons, which is the energies that they rule over. And their people will mourn and cry on account of their death, which is the arcane motherfuckers that rule this shit. They crying now. You see what I'm saying? It's all happening as we speak. It's the end of the age. So they crying. They mourning the fact that this shit that their rule is coming to an end. Right? So now, then the age will come and they will be disturbed, which means they shit got disrupted. Their kings will be drunk from the flaming sword and will wage war against each other, which is what y'all saying with this QAnon shit. You see what I'm saying? I find it funny that QAnon is actually Oanon or Oannes, the Babylonian fish deity or the god of the underworld, right? So it's an underworld deity. So it's a vortex sucking in your energy. And they're using this energy to wage war upon each other. How about that? See, they will wage war against each other so that the earth will be drunk from blood that is poured out. The seas will be troubled by war. The sun will darken, solar eclipse, and the moon will lose its light, lunar eclipse. The stars of the sky will abandon their circuits, which will mean it'll be chaos in the heavens. Everything will start to break apart. And loud thunder will roar from a great power, which is these energies coming down, these cosmic forces coming, hitting the planet, rocking it. That loud thunder that y'all hear, that ringing in y'all ear, that's the loud thunder that they talking about. Above all the powers of chaos, where the firmament of the female is located. They talking about Sophia. Her Aeon about to shake this shit up and destroy it, right? Her forces. You see what I'm saying? She had produced the first creation, and now she will put away her wise fire of afterthought and put on irrational wrath, which is why y'all so angry, which is why y'all so upset, which is why y'all so frustrated and can't wait for this shit to be destroyed. You see what I'm saying? Pistis, which means faithful, Sophia, soul wisdom, will drive out the gods of chaos, the world rulers, the archons, whom she had created along with their chief creator, Yaldabaoth, and she will cast them down to the abyss. You see what I'm saying? The underworld, the underverse that I've been telling y'all about. They will be wiped out through their own injustice, which means they're going to start fucking with each other and taking each other out in the underverse or the nether realms. They will be like mountains blazing with fire, which means they will war with burning passion. You see what I'm saying? And they will consume one another until they are destroyed by their chief creator. Since Yaldabaoth created them with a thought, he gonna be the one to destroy them with a thought. You see what I'm saying? When he destroys them, he will turn on himself and attack himself until he is no more, which means he'll commit suicide. The heavens of the gods of chaos will collapse upon one another, and their powers will be consumed. Let me read that again. The heavens of the gods of chaos will collapse upon one another, and their powers will be consumed. That means everything in the fucking heavens or the material world will start to crack up, break, and shatter. That whole shit gonna fall apart. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? All that shit up there gonna fall apart and gonna begin to rain down on us. Their realms will also be overthrown, which is happening now on the astral plane. All their astral realms are being torn down. All their astral hierarchies and dimensions that they created is falling apart as we speak. The chief creator's heaven will fall and split in half, which is what I just said. They shit falling apart. His stars in their sphere will fall down to the earth, and the earth will not be able to endure them. So this fucking dome that's over us will crack and break apart, and we'll be able to see the destruction of all of this realm, right? Of their realm. How will we be able to see it? The realms gonna merge together, and we'll be able to see the destruction for ourselves while we're on the astral plane. And then it says here, they will fall down to the abyss, and the abyss will be overthrown. See what I'm saying? So the nether realms are going to be destroyed as well. That's basically what they're saying. You see what I'm saying? Then it says here, light overcomes darkness. The light will overcome the darkness and banish it. The darkness will be like, the darkness is ignorance, blindness, deceitfulness, deception, yada, 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 yada. All those frequencies, all those extra low frequencies, arcane frequencies that y'all heard so much about. The darkness will be like something that never was, and the source of darkness will be dissolved, Yaldabaoth. Deficiency will be pulled out by its root origin and cast down into the darkness, the nether realms, and the light will withdraw up to its root, up to its origin, the pleroma. The glory of the unbegotten Pomandres will appear and fill all the eternal realms when the prophets and the writings of rulers are revealed and fulfilled by those who are called perfect. Us, the starseeds. Those who have not become perfect in the unbegotten Father will receive glory in their realms in the kingdoms of immortals, which will mean everybody will receive their due inheritance according to the works that they fulfill on this plane. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Their souls will be judged, and whatever they did and didn't do will be weighed. Weighed. Like Anubis will weigh in your heart. Yeah, all that will be weighed to see where they go after this shit all over with. But they will never enter the kingless realm because they're not perfect. Perfect in this sense means they've gained supreme enlightenment of both the source and everything else. They've gained supreme enlightenment of Pomandres and have ascended to that level where they was able to reach their revelation with Pomandres, and they became perfect in his eyes because now they have made a complete reconnection with it and the rest of the Parama, which is the all. You see what I'm saying? That's what they mean here. Let's see here. But they will never enter the kingdom's realm. All must return to the place where they came from. By what they do and what they know, all of them will reveal their natures. So by what they did and what they learned, what they know now, but will be revealed. And their natures, their natures that they've been hiding here on earth will be revealed and judged. You see what I'm saying? And then, they'll be taken to where they need to be taken to learn their next lessons or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Throughout the cosmos. You see what I'm saying? So there y'all go. I think that's pretty much it. You see what I'm saying? Make sure here. You see what I'm saying? Oh yeah, let's see. Something else I want to read to y'all. Let's see. There's a few other things I want to cover up. Before we get to, that part there, there's a little gray area here, a little twilight period here, that y'all know is the 3 days of darkness. We don't talk about that. Now, a big question has been asking, Marvin, are we going to go to war on the physical plane? The answer is no. Why? Because the physical plane is fading away. It will merge into the astral plane, where we will war then with the remaining archons and their legions. Check. Alright, now what will it be like when the dimension shuts down? Or where we properly call this process the 3 days of darkness. This is when the cosmic forces issues a cease and desist letter for this dimension, which will shut it down. And the sign you're looking for is everything in this dimension will gray out and all the color will be sucked out of the realm except for the chosen ones, right? Meaning that everything in this realm gonna gray out. Everything, every realm has like a certain rhythm to it, a certain vibration to it, a certain frequency. All that shit gonna stop. Everything gonna become null and void. It's gonna be like you in a state of limbo. You see what I'm saying? And you gonna feel like all the music, like somebody cut off the, how it sounds when somebody cut off the music, that little pause period. When somebody cut off the music, it's like a dead zone. Well, that's what it's gonna be. The world gonna become the dead zone. If you've ever been in a car wreck, just before the car wreck, everything slowed down and stopped, and goddamn, when everything slowed down and stopped, it was like a great pause there. That's what the cease and desist is. You see what I'm saying? That stopping of the pulse. You see what I'm saying? That's how it's gonna be like. It's gonna stop all the music, all the frequencies. And if you know anything about color, if you suck up all the color, then you suck up all the life in the dimension. Cause color is life. You see what I'm saying? Color is a sign of healthy life. So if that shit gets sucked up, then everything gone. So the only thing that will have life at this point are the chosen ones, or those whose light is strong enough to withstand this cease and desist period, or what y'all call the days of darkness, or the cycle of darkness, right? Next, after that, we get into the great and terrible day or cycle of the Lord, which is going to be starting around December 2020. You see what I'm saying? Which is what y'all call the judgment day or the judgment cycle. You see what I'm saying? It happens in two parts. All the beings who deserve to be destroyed will disintegrate or spontaneously combust. And the beings who chose not to awaken, the souls will be snatched from their body, but to the observer, it will be as if they disintegrated. You see what I'm saying? Now, here's a message from the primordial. The reason why we tell you to get away from your parents is not only because they are low vibrational, but because who wants to see their loved ones spontaneously combust? You see what I'm saying? Or disintegrate before their eyes. Who wants to see that shit? Nobody wants to see that. See what I'm saying? But on certain levels, you ain't gonna feel bad for them on certain levels because you've been trying to wake them up and they ain't wanna listen. So, oh well. But at the same time, your emotional body is going to shock your emotional body because you ain't never seen no shit like that before, right? So motherfucker just disintegrating from you, that's going to fuck anybody up. It's going to fuck you up. You see what I'm saying? Now, another thing that's happening is, this is what you prepping for, by the way. You prepping for those days of darkness. You ain't prepping for, the martial law and shit. You prepping for those days of darkness when everything shuts down. The whole dimension ceases to operate. Ceases all energetic operation. You see what I'm saying? Another thing that's happening. A lot of my empaths, they've been crying and sad and depressed and all that these past few years, especially the last 5 or so years. The reason why you've been sad and depressed is because you are sharing the shock, the trauma, the pain that your future self witnesses when they see this mass disintegration or this mass spontaneous combustion, or what they call in the Book of Revelation, them being thrown into the lake of fire. It's still gonna affect you. You see what I'm saying? To see this shit happen on a massive level. See what I'm saying? So that's gonna shock you, and you have been sharing that trauma with your future self, so you can operate during that present day. You see what I'm saying? So you can still function during that time period. That's why you've been crying and you've been sad and you've been hurting, whatever. Now, so when that shit get here, when that prophesied time period get here, what's up, Jesus? What's up, Walter? When that prophesied time get here, you gonna be good. You see what I'm saying? You gonna be able to at least function, even though you know that shit fucked up. That's why it feels like you're becoming more and more heartless, because now once you experience a certain level of emotions, it feels like you're becoming more heartless now, because you are purging out that shock, that trauma that your future self is experiencing in that moment in time. You see what I'm saying? You purging that shit out. You like, oh shit, that's fucked up there. So now, once you purge it out, when you see it now, you ain't gonna have it. It ain't gonna be as much of a shock in the future when it happens. You're still gonna be fucked up. You still gonna be a little sad or whatever, but you'll be like, damn, that's fucked up. But oh well, I warned they asses. You see what I'm saying? Your emotional body ain't gonna get in the way. That's why you've been crying and sad and having all these sicknesses and diseases these past 5 years. That's why they've been at an all-time high these past 5 years, because you are sharing the burden with your future self during the day of judgment, the great and terrible day of the Lord. You see what I'm saying? Poor Mandres. You sharing this burden during this time period when you see this mass die off, this mass spontaneous combustion, this mass disintegration of the masses right before your eyes. And that will cause, and of course, that will cause massive shock to anybody, massive shock and trauma to anybody who witnesses that. I don't give a damn who you are and how much training you have. You see what I'm saying? How much training you have. So that's what's going on here. That's what's going on. Let's see here. Hold on, y'all. Ooh, phone almost died. Good thing I bought that car charger. Yeah, yes. You receive a mass die-off of whatever happens. You witness that mass die-off, that mass disintegration, that day where everybody gets thrown into the lake of fire who did not make the shift properly. You see what I'm saying? You see that with your own 2 eyes, and that's what causes your emotional. That will cause this great shock to your emotional body. So these last 5 or so years, you've been pulling on those emotions, ciphering those emotions from your your future self sharing the burden. You see what I'm saying? So that's why y'all crying for no reason. That's why you sad for no reason. That's why you get sick for no fucking reason. Because you you sharing the burden with your future self, who is witnessing this right now, witnessing this great and terrible day of the Lord and this mass die-off and disintegration of the people around you. You see what I'm saying? That's what's going on here. So I want to put that out there, let y'all know what's going on here. You see what I'm saying? That's what's been happening here. Then, after the judgment cycle is over, which is going to last about 9 to 11 or 12 days, if I'm not mistaken, 9 to 12 days. So, after the judgment cycle is over, we will fully emerge into the astral plane and go to war with our enemies, because it'll take place before we merge. You see what I'm saying? That's why motherfuckers is raising hell right now, because they try to do anything they can to buy more time, because they know that this great and terrible day of the Lord, this celestial alignment is coming. They're trying to extend this shit out as much as fucking possible. That's why they trying to slow time down. They try to cool the planet off. They try to do whatever the fuck they can to stop this shit from happening. See what I'm saying? So after the war, the astral war, we will merge. The astral plane will merge into the 5th dimension, and we always start to create our own new worlds, aeons, from that point on. And from that point on, and we have the right, or as special starseeds who dealt with this Holocaust, we and all our ancestors who chose to deal with this Holocaust, we have the opportunity to create our own aeons. You see what I'm saying? From scratch, and build our own universes that we can live in and govern. You see what I'm saying? So we will. That's what your inheritance is. The inheritance that they tell you, that your divine inheritance is your own universe, your own pleroma, your own universe, your own aeon within the pleroma. You see what I'm saying? That's your divine inheritance. You will be the proud owner of your own fucking aeon, and you can build as many universes, galaxies, dimensions, realms, and planes of existence as you want within your aeon. Ain't it want to be nice to have Marvin's aeon? That would be nice. So I call it something cooler once I get more memories back. You see what I'm saying? More memories back. I call it something even cooler, the Armian dimension, or the Armian aeon, or some cool shit like that. Whatever. But that's what's going on here. That's what this whole fucking process is being about. The celestial transmutation of this material realm into something new. You see what I'm saying? That's never been done before. See, that's what they're not telling y'all. It's never been done before. This has never taken place before in the history of the cosmos, which is something. You see what I'm saying? So you are part of the great experiment, the great earthly experiment here in the material world, to transmute all this shit into something new and take those codes to create your own motherfucking aeon from the experiences you had. Actually, you can tap into those frequencies right now if you want to, and start building your aeon as we speak in the now. If you like, and once this shit over with, you already have a head start on your peers. You see what I'm saying? Because you took time out to build your own realm, your own aeon, your own dimension, your own universes, and the people in it. You know, not only are you gonna build the things, you're gonna build the places, you're gonna build the people and the ideas. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna look at you as the noun. You see what I'm saying? Like they said, the person, the place, the thing, and the idea. That's what a noun is, right? So you're gonna be the master. They're gonna call you creator of that particular aeon. You see what I'm saying? So there y'all go. That's y'all divine inheritance. You know, that's what y'all should be looking forward to. You see what I'm saying? I think I covered everything I wanted to cover anyway. You see what I'm saying? One other thing. Because they fuck with the timeline, their judgment has come 10 years earlier than expected. 2030 has now become 2020, by the way. So you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that out there before I forgot. Because they fuck with the timeline so much, their punishment for fuck with the timeline, not letting things happen naturally, is instead of this shit happening in 2030 like it was prophesied originally, it's now happening in 2020. But 10 years earlier than what it was fucking supposed to. That's why they rushing to do everything, and now everything is flawed that they do because they are rushing to do it now. You see what I'm saying? And they panicking while they doing it. So, you know, when you panic, even though panic and desperation breeds invention, it breeds flawed invention. You see what I'm saying? Because you haven't taken the time out to perfect your plans and operations. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you got going on here. That's what you got going on with this temporal warfare. So fucking the Anunnaki came back 20 years earlier than what they were supposed to. The Anunnaki wasn't supposed to come back to this year, but they started coming back as early as 2010 because they've been fucking with the timeline. And that's why they launched that campaign against the Anunnaki in 2015, 2016, saying they evil, they wicked, they eating us or whatever. Because and fucking Vladimir Putin went to war with them. And they attacked Russia first because Russia was doing some diabolical, fucked up shit. You see what I'm saying? Whatever they was doing, it was so bad that the fucking Anunnaki targeted them first. You see what I'm saying? They had their all-seeing eye on them first. And then they started working their way across the fucking Eastern Hemisphere. And have now worked their way over here to the Western Hemisphere. So this is what you got going on here. So this war has been going on is early for the last decade, y'all. This secret war, this covert war has been going on for the last decade. That's why all your movies got super metaphysical at the turn of the decade. You notice ever since 2009, from 2010 on, the movies got super metaphysical. It's because now they telling you through movies and media that they at war with a celestial entity, and they don't have no idea how to fucking deal with this enemy. You see what I'm saying? They at war with them. That's where you got let's see what's some good shows that came out recently that deals with this war. That's where you got The Gifted, and you got the Avengers, and you got all the superhero movies that came out, the golden age of the superheroes. All that shit came out as a reflection of this war that's happening that started with Russia and the Anunnaki. They done whooped Russia ass. Russia done got their ass kicked so bad, over 70 to 80% of their male population is dead now. They had to replace them with clones. So 70 to 80% of the male population of Russia are now clones. So yeah, that's how much ass whooping the Anunnaki gave them. 70 to 80% of their population is now clones. Their male population anyway. And about 20 to 30% of their female population is clones. Because, you know, they had some females in the army too, in the military. So those Spetsnaz got their asses whooped. That's why you don't hear much from Vladimir Putin. Have y'all noticed? Y'all ain't even been hearing from that nigga anymore. Because they got their asses whooped. So he ain't really got much to offer the rest of the fucking cabal at this point. Because most of his nation has been destroyed due to fucking celestial warfare or Star Wars, reactivate Star Wars with these entities. So that's what you got going on here. That's what you got going on. This shit real, y'all. Y'all at war. And y'all, when y'all fuse into the astral plane, y'all gonna join the war. But best believe them days of darkness and the great and terrible day of the Lord for the physical plane is going to happen. Man, that's when you see the mass die off of the population. They trying to do it early, so-called with their culling, whatever, but they won't be able to do it until the prophesized time. And if they try to do it before the prophesized time, their ass is going to get fucked up even faster. See what I'm saying? On frequencies and vibrations and energy is going to continue to fuck them up even faster. And this shit going to speed up. And it's actually going to cause more people to awaken because everybody going to be like, what the fuck is going on? What is you trying to do here? And everybody going to start to catch wind of what they doing and start to rebel against them. You see what I'm saying? So they're causing their awakening just as much as we're causing their awakening. How about that? You see what I'm saying? It's a twofold deal. The star seeds are causing the awakening, and the cabal is causing the awakening because their fuck ups is arousing suspicion among the masses. So those who get it are starting to awaken. You see what I'm saying? Due to that. So people will be awakening. The summer solstice just happened, and that solar eclipse, which just created an X marks the spot with a Bermuda Triangle on the X. So they created a super dimensional vortex opening. And this vortex is at its strongest. It opens at its strongest between I said 1, maybe 2 a.m. to about 4 or 5 a.m. That's why those are the witches' hours or the melting hours. So this is what you got going on here. You see what I'm saying? That's what you got going on here. And so that's what's happening here with this event. So you had a solar eclipse on Father's Day, which is masculine energy, which is divine, which is dynamism. So in aggression. So those aggressive waves hit the planet, and it came through that solar eclipse, that portal, and it hit during the summer solstice, which is the hottest and most fiery and most explosive time of the year. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why y'all ass ain't been able to sleep lately. You see what I'm saying? It's way, way stronger now. Hell, shit, it was bad before the summer solstice. You just weren't able to sleep during the night. Now your ass can't sleep during the night or day. I can barely sleep all night or all day today. You see what I'm saying? I tried to take a nap. That shit wouldn't work. This morning, I tried to take a nap. Last night, the only time I was able to go to sleep was between like the hours of 4 and 6. Goddamn. That's it, y'all. So shit, that's how strong the energy is, the life force is, the soul force is, and our mental side forces are right now on the planet. So there y'all go. So there y'all go. You see what I'm saying? So y'all done the work. Y'all been the living, breathing El Cristo Negroes, El Cristo Negresses, and actually El Cristo souls or sons of the children, the holy black children, and all the other holy children on the planet. You see what I'm saying? So definitely from all the other races. So definitely this is what you got going on here with this. So that's what this Gnosticism was all about, y'all. That's what this Gnosticism was all about. Redemption, rejuvenation, healing, regeneration, and resurrection of thine own soul, of the soul, the divine spark, divine light within you. So there y'all go. But I'm gonna get off here because I got 1% battery life left. so I'm gonna press this finish button and I'm out, y'all. Peace.